Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Najaa Tijani and we begin with security matters. President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered a major military operation in Niger State, which has continued to face attacks on its communities by remnants of Boko Haram terrorists fleeing the theater of war in the northeast and proscribed bandit terrorists fleeing the northwestern parts of the country. In a clear directive to the defense headquarters, the president has asked the military to respond robustly to the cases of killings and kidnappings in the state and to give effect to the strategic objectives through the use of force. President Buhari also sends a message to the government and people of Niger State, expressing sincere sympathy over the recent security incidents. He says the federal government is willing to strengthen support and cooperation with all the states towards totally defeating the criminal elements. The president reiterates that security is a responsibility of all people, and only through solidarity and cooperation with law enforcement agencies can the desired peace enterprise be achieved. Meanwhile, the theatre commander of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hatlinke, Major General Christopher Musa, says troops of the command have successfully repelled ISWAP attacks on Biu in Chibok and Buratai communities, as 5 terrorists have been neutralized and anti-aircraft guns recovered from the criminal elements. Maimuna Garba reports.
Following upsurge of ISWAP activities recently, 3 communities in the southern part of Borno were attacked, with the recent one in Biu Saturday afternoon. Confirming the attacks, Theatre Commander Operation Hatlinke, Major General Christopher Musa, said the attacks on southern part of the state was due to intensified onslaught in northern Borno. Hence, the terrorists moved to the southern part to conduct isolated attacks.
We know it was just an action as part of what I said to divert attention and also to look for funds from their foreign aid. But we are sure we remain focused and we're going to get them. And to tell you the truth, the same group that did that tried their luck this evening. They're the same group that moved to go and attack Biu today. And unfortunately, they met their Waterloo.
The theatre commander, however, confirmed that 2 people were killed by the terrorists while fleeing Buratai during the attack last Monday, and some houses burned on Friday night in Kautikari. He said the southern part will also be fortified to prevent the terrorists from carrying out their dastardly acts.
I want to call on Nigerians to understand that we're fighting a good cause. We're fighting for Nigeria's survival, for Nigeria to develop. So all Nigerians will put out on deck and support the military.
General Musa warned those collaborating with the terrorists to desist, as the military will decisively deal with them. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
The Ebonyi Police Command has recorded another feat in the fight against crime with the rescue of 32 children from traffickers in the state. While briefing the press on the development, the State Commissioner of Police, Aliu Garba, called on parents to always be watchful and pay keen interest to the whereabouts of their children and wards. Ijoma Peter Wanti reports.
Relations Officer Lovett Oda said the command rescued 32 underage children who were trafficked from different parts of the country for forced labor and sexual exploitation. She said in the course of investigating the whereabouts of one Miss Chidera Wankwo, whose case was reported by the mother, useful statement was made to the police, and that led to the rescue of 32 children by operatives from a hideout at Oposi Umohara.
We are going to further investigation to Imo State, where Chidera had confirmed that there are more than 20 girls in an apartment that look like a hall, and up to like 18 boys also there doing the same business in the name of networking.
The State Commissioner of Police called on parents whose children are missing to report to the police headquarters for identification and possible claim of their wards. In Abakaliki, Ichoma Peter Wante, NTA News.
An estimated 2 million illicit drugs including heroin, tramadol, Exol 5 and diazepam have been seized by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA in Edo and Kano states. The nationwide raid also led to the seizure of close to 1.9 million naira as well as arms and ammunition. Meanwhile, slightly above 2,400 kilograms of illicit drugs including cannabis sativa, heroin, cocaine and tramadol capsules, among others, were intercepted during the week-long operation, which led to the arrest of 11 suspects in some states. To consolidate on the successes being recorded in addressing insecurity, Katsina State government has adopted public enlightenment strategy towards ensuring safety and security in institutions of learning across the state. Awal Haliru reports.
The happenings of last year of the adoption of schoolboys in Katsina prompted continued proactive measures by the state government to put an end to the menace. The strategic engagement with the relevant stakeholders organized by the Office of the Special Advisor on Security Matters is to reawaken the consciousness of students on safety.
Other strategies should be developed by individual institutions taking their particular and peculiar situations.
The lecture session provided opportunity for a wide scope of individuals from the security agencies to educate participants on various issues of security aimed at ensuring safe environment.
This is a new strategy in security management. That's why we engage the relevant strategic stakeholders to do these discussions. It's an interface.
Officials from NDLEA and the Federal Road Safety Corps delivered lectures as part of strategies for robust relationship between security agencies and students. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps has taken steps to upscale the number of personnel aimed at expanding the scope of its responsibility. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, preparing its men to do what they know best. Keeping an eagle eye on national assets and safe schools. A drop in the ocean of its responsibilities. Responsibilities, it says, it's discharging with passion.
And what is the dream? To make Civil Defense Corps a very reliable, world-class organization.
Adding more boots to its troop was a move the Corps made in 2019. Now the process is finalized, with 5,000 Nigerians given the chance to serve their fatherland.
And the accreditation of the 5,000 successful applicants is going to start from today. So our notice, that is the board, Civil Defense, Corrections, Fire and Immigration Services Board, is hereby asking applicants, those 5,000 that are successful, to please visit the same site that they applied.
We have realized also that we need to introduce what is called vetting into the process. And you know, when you vet, the vetting process takes a longer time.
5,000 more boots to the Corps is a plus to securing Nigeria's assets and people, the Corps says. In Abuja, Abdullahi Muhammad, NTA News.
And away from security matters now, APC chieftain Bola Ahmed Tinubu has visited Oyo State to commiserate with the government and people over the demise of two traditional rulers and a former governor of the state. Ayomiko Ajibola reports.
Of APC and former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, paid a condolence visit on Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde over the demise of two prominent traditional rulers and the former governor of the state, Otumba Adebayo Alao Akala, while describing the reign of the Olubadan of Ibadan land and that of Shoun of Ogbomoso land as peaceful. He added that the late former governor Alao Akala equally contributed immensely to the political development of not only Oyo State but Nigeria in general.
One day, we are just passing through. We all will go. But no matter how long it is difficult to absorb the law easily.
In his remarks, Governor Seyi Makinde thanked Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the visit, saying the former Lagos State governor stood for politics without bitterness.
You've risen above our politics and all that is going on around here to come and share with us at this moment that we're grieving.
Earlier, the APC leader was at the palace of the late Olubadan of Ibadan land, that of Shoun of Ogbomoso land, where he condoled with the families of the late monarchs before visiting the family of former governor of Oyo State, Otumba Adebayo Alao Akala at Ogbomoso, where he also commiserated with his family. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And from Ibadan, we head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by. So over to you, Adeola.
Thank you, Najatu. The need for Nigerians to recommit themselves to the ideals of nationhood with a view to create a society built on sustainable peace and national unity is germane to the realization of the vision of our forefathers. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, while saluting the efforts of our fallen heroes and living gallant soldiers in sustaining nation's corporate existence, said the government will not treat their concerns with kid gloves. Abolade Salami reports.
The 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day kicked off with a static parade mounted by military officers and personnel alongside a detachment of the Nigerian Legion, inspected by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in honor of our fallen heroes who paid the supreme price of laying down their lives for the sovereignty of our dear country. January 15th of every year has been set aside as a day of sober reflection to consider the sacrifices of the soldiers who, in the quest for sustaining unity and collective sovereignty, paid the supreme sacrifice to keep the country united, indivisible, and peaceful. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who led others in the Lane of Ruth to commemorate 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day at the military cenotaph, saluted the fallen and living heroes of the Nigerian Armed Forces for their selfless service and for paying the supreme price to keep Nigeria as one indivisible entity.
And of course, the Nigerian legend, we continue to support them. They were with me the other day, where a cash donation of 50 million was also, pledged to be given to them from what was like a tenfold of what we used to give, just to continue to support them. And you also know that the state government has over 5,000 of them in employment.
While the country continues to celebrate this rare breed of distinguished men and women who placed Nigerians above their own security and safety, the need for more attention to some pressing challenges as regards their welfare was emphasized.
I'm still encouraging Lagos State government to encourage the area and the local governments in the state, the 7 local governments in the state, to be accommodating Legion members and taking care of them and helping them with some allowances.
In the spirit of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the fallen heroes received single salutes in appreciation of their selfless service to the country, and some white pigeons were released to symbolize peace. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Now, the coroner's inquest into the controversial death of Dowen College student Sylvester Romani Jr. has began at the Magistrate Court, Ekpe, with a warning to all parties to avoid public comment on the matter. Adeniyi Taiwo completes the report.
Counsels to all the parties involved in the controversial death of late Dowen College student Sylvester Oromoni Jr. were all present as the coroner's inquest into his death opened at Magistrate Court Ekpe. Femi Falana, SAN, is the lead counsel for the Oromoni family, while Akinbola George heads the team from the Lagos Ministry of Justice representing the state government. Dowen College was represented by Anthony Popo, while 5 senior students of the college alleged to have grievously assaulted the late Sylvester also had different counsels appearing for each one of them. The chief pathologist of LASUT, Associate Professor Sunday Shoyemi, who attended the proceedings as a witness in the case, said the autopsy reports had been transmitted to the coroner, which ordered the procedure. The presiding magistrate, Mikhail Kadiri, after hearing parties, ordered the police to immediately release copies of statements obtained during its investigation to interested parties, and that counsels should make necessary applications for the certified true copies of relevant documents in the court's possession. The court also said that it would at some point consider the Oromoni's request for the court to inspect the school facilities, including the sick bay where the late Sylvester was allegedly treated in November 2021 before he was handed over to his parents. But counsel for Dowen College pointed out that the young Sylvester died in Delta State. Counsel for the Oromoni family, Femi Falana, SAN, while noting that the coroner be allowed to take charge of the entire proceedings without any external influence, said only the court is competent to speak authoritatively on the cause of death. The Nigerian Bar Association was also ordered to apply formally to the court to appear in the inquest as an interested party. Hearing was adjourned to January 21, 27 and 29 for witnesses to present their evidence, starting with the side of the grieving family. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Nationwide continues with Zinreth and Just.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide and welcome to Jos. Vice-Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya says his commitment to quality education is total in view of its place in the socio-economic and political development of the society. He stated this in Jos while addressing stakeholders in education. Ruth Stephen Hoke has more.
Education, the Vice-Chancellor says, is key to the transformation of any society, calling on key players in the sector to redouble efforts towards achieving quality. Professor Tanko Ishaya notes that the university is known for quality and will not be compromised under his watch. Human capital development, the Vice-Chancellor hinted, will be given priority as effort will be made to harness the institution's human and material resources to position it for greater exploits. He assured critical stakeholders of synergy towards adding value to the institution.
He was assured that during my tenure here as the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, that concept of human capital development is what we're going to continue to be.
Leaders of the Nigerian Medical Association, Plateau State, as well as the university's medical laboratory department expressed confidence in the ability of the Vice-Chancellor to transform the institution to higher heights. In Jos, Ruth Stephen Hockey, NTA News.
Plateau State government says it recorded impressive performance in the 2021 routine immunization coverage in the state, calling on stakeholders not to relent until the desired target is achieved. This was during the review of last year's coverage in the state. Bilkisu Nuhu reports that 42,120 children were immunized against killer diseases.
Child killer diseases include polio, diarrhea, and whooping cough. Successive administrations and stakeholders have been making efforts to ensure the survival of children through the provision of logistics for immunization coverages. The year 2021 witnessed significant increase in number of children immunized in the state compared to 2020 due to COVID-19. While giving a scorecard of coverage, the state has recorded 63% coverage out of 95, describing it as commendable.
When I'm talking about 63% coverage, I'm looking at Penta 3, which is 5 vaccines in one. It is one of the indicators that we use to measure the performance of immunization.
State Immunization Officer indicated that staff inadequacy, funding, and attitude of some parents towards the exercise were some of the challenges faced in the year under review.
But we are looking inward to see how we will improve on the area of routine immunization.
He appealed to parents and guardians to avail their children the opportunity to be immunized against the child killer diseases, as the benefits are enormous. In Jos, Bilkis Nuhu, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. It's back to Najatu in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you, Zenret. Welcome back to our Abuja studios. We're talking school safety and the release of four undergraduates abducted from the Federal University, Lafia, who have regained their freedom. The head information unit of the university, Abubakar Ibrahim, confirmed this to NTA News in Lafia. Achigli Magaji reports.
Students who recounted their ordeal in the hands of their abductors say it was a harrowing experience.
From that our house, they moved us down close to one village they call Akunza, then we crossed road. We took a direction as if we were going to Benue. And that is how they do. We walked throughout the night.
They not do anything to us. It was toxic and it was not a good one.
Some of the parents who were still recovering from the shock said they give God the glory.
At a point, I almost lost hope. But because of what I believe in, that God is with us, and my name is Emmanuel, I move ahead.
It was a bitter one. Very bitter indeed. That I couldn't believe what I've been hearing can eventually get to me.
The head information unit of the university, Abubakar Ibrahim, noted that it took the combined efforts of the university authorities and other stakeholders to secure their release.
And I told you that the Vice Chancellor was very disturbed with the situation and he has never rested until those students were released.
So at the time of filing the report, it could not be ascertained if ransom was paid. It could be recalled that the students were abducted Thursday night from their residence in Maraba Odege, Lafia, close to the university. In Lafia, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
And still on school safety, Zamfara state government is adopting new strategies aimed at ensuring safe reopening of primary and post-primary schools in the state, and has organized a community engagement meeting for key stakeholders from across the 14 local government areas of the state, tagged Creating Safe School Environment. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
The state government has since on 1st September 2021 directed for the immediate closure of all primary and post-primary schools across the state following the abduction of more than 70 students of Government Day Secondary School Kaya, which occurred few weeks after the 279 kidnapped Jangebe students regained their freedom. Though the abducted Kaya students were also released a few days after the abduction, the schools have continued to remain closed for more than 5 months now. With the improvement in the security situation, Zamfara state government says it is adopting new strategies to ensure safe reopening of the schools soonest. A stakeholders engagement meeting on the creation of safe schools for learning was organized by Zamfara State Universal Basic Education Board as part of the new strategies.
We are going to give them some security tips that they will use to train the teachers and head teachers there, and also the children, so that they all will be security conscious.
The participants include the local government education secretaries and the school supervisors, as well as the leadership of the State Parents Teachers Association and that of the schools-based management committees, among others.
The community need to be made to know that if they come together, they will be able to provide a local security architecture that will ensure protection of children while in school.
We were taken through all the rudiments, all the skills and tips of ensuring safety of our children in schools.
Security is for everybody, so it's everybody's concern.
that we get involved and get our schools moving.
In the meantime, Zamfara State Universal Basic Education Board has announced a plan to engage local vigilante for effective surveillance of schools, in addition to the formation of a safety committee, which is built to be replicated at local government, area development councils, wards and schools levels across the state. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And now we'll head to our Benin Network Center, where Obehi is standing by with more updates.
Thanks, Naja.
All right, welcome. It is still Afro Sports coverage of the 33rd edition of the Africa.
And watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet.
In earlier times, the area would have been deserted at this hour of the night. Things are now different.
The government is doing very well now. I can see a new pole everywhere. I saw that in New Lagos Road with the solar panel they are installing. And I need to commend the government for that.
Now you can drive around major streets in Benin and without even you only your headlights of your car.
Other areas in the metropolis that are already lit up include some parts of Airport Road, Akezua and Stadium Road, while Lagos Street, Sapele Road, Akpakpava, Sakwamba and Mission Road are among areas currently receiving attention in the project.
The streetlight project is not only within Benin Metropolis. We also have in Auchi and Jetu.
The streetlights government officials explain are being powered from Osiomo Power Plant as part of the Light Up Edo project, which is aimed at opening up the state for investors and also help businesses thrive.
When the government buildings are not in use in the evening or at night, our street lights, of course, takes that power.
The state government had in December 2019 signed an agreement for the Osiomo Mini Grid Power Plant to supply energy to government hospitals, street lights, and other public facilities in the state. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
For months now, automated teller machines, ATMs, are operating below optimal speed in meeting the demands of customers in Benin Metropolis. What is worrisome is that the only available means, apart from withdrawal at the counter by customers, is the point-of-sale machines, popularly known as POS. But even the POS are posing greater challenge to many. Adugbeji Ojigba, who spoke to some customers, now reports.
To many depositors who spoke to NTA News crew, the cashless society promoted by the Central Bank of Nigeria was a welcome development. But the current inability for the ATMs and the POS vendors to meet the demands of the public, many respondents say, is eroding the confidence of customers.
POS is actually another avenue for people to get their money in a very easy way, but it's not too good. I will advise the bank, to brave up with their service.
Talking of withdrawing money, sometimes there's not always money in the ATM, or maybe out of 6 ATM machines, you're surprised that it's just one that is working.
The development, which many have complained about, has left them stranded on many occasions.
The people inside the bank, they work hand with the ATM people. In December period, when we wanted to withdraw, the only place you could collect money was the POS.
If we want to run a cashless policy, we encourage people to go cashless. While deducting money from them, 20 naira, 50 naira, and we are sitting at the comfort of it. We are making these billions of naira.
They urge agency responsible for monitoring the activities of these financial institutions to wade in and save Nigerians the burden of this unwholesome practice. In Benin, Adugbeji Ojigba, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Abubakar in Maiduguri right after this break.
It's nice to see you, Naja'atu, and thank you for joining us. Borno State Government has inaugurated a 12-man advisory committee on governance and development as part of efforts to create inclusiveness and restore the state's lost glory. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum inaugurated the committee at the Government House, Maiduguri, with a call on all those concerned to enable the advisory body discharge its responsibility. Mohammed Goni completes the story.
The Advisory Committee on Governance and Development, with membership drawn from within and outside the country, which include non-Nigerians, Joe Connell and Professor Muhammad Iqbal Asaria, has Ambassador Usman Sarki as its chairman. Governor Zulum said inauguration of the committee marks the fulfillment of the state government's commitment, dedication to good governance, transparency, accountability, and rule of law, which the administration pledged to uphold and entrench.
We are particularly desirous of making Borno State the pivot destination for business, investors, and partners. In this sense, fostering the ease of doing business in our state, anchored on the respect for contractual agreements and the supremacy of rule of law, is of critical importance.
According to the governor, it is also in realization of the fact that governance rests on critical pillars of consultation and integrity of purpose that the state government decided to create the committee to guide its affairs in transforming Borno to attain higher level of development and human progress. He noted that the terms of reference of the committee will ensure that the administration gets the best advice on how to use available opportunities and resources to improve the lives of the people as contained in the state's development plan and transformation agenda. The governor required everyone, including the executive, legislature, local government councils, and state MDAs, to give their full cooperation to the advisory committee towards effective and efficient discharge of its mandate, and further use the opportunity to express gratitude to President Buhari and the Nigerian military towards the restoration of peace to the state. Chairman of the advisory committee, Usman Sarki, said the people of Borno are privileged to witness ushering in of a new era in governance that recognizes merit and entrenches due process in all aspects of administration for the sake of probity, diligence, and transparent conduct. The committee chairman assured the governor of the committee's commitment to, among other things, provide necessary advices to the governor towards enhancing the capacity of civil service to be the vehicle of transforming the state. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Borno State Government has assured commitment to work with the United Nations to give people of Borno opportunity not only to survive, but live in dignity and be productive members of the society. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum gave the assurance when the new resident and humanitarian coordinator of the UN, Matthias Skumal, paid him a familiarization visit at the Government House, Maiduguri. Here again is Mohammed Guni with the rest of the story.
Professor Babagana Umara expressed gratitude to the UN agencies, looking forward to a continual work with the world body to support the people of Borno, not only to survive, but to live a purposeful life with dignity and respect.
We need your support in building back the lives of the over 50,000 farmers we have released back to their communities to continue farming activities. We need to empower them now that they are free and no longer slaves.
The governor used the opportunity to brief the UN officials when memory lane on the 12 years of insurgency and the collaborative efforts put in place by the federal and the state government, as well as the UN agencies and other INGOs to provide succor to the IDPs, a development that necessitated the decision of the state government to close down IDPs camp within the state capital. He also assured UN officials that the IDPs are being resettled in places declared safe by the security forces, and that the state government empowers all the returning IDPs to start their livelihoods in addition to food items given to them. The governor also emphasized that banning of food distribution was restricted to those resettlements already stipulated by the state government, while the INGOs and donor partners can continue with the humanitarian support in IDPs camps and designated communities. UN resident and humanitarian coordinator Matthias Himmel said he will build on successes already recorded by his predecessor and will continue with the good relationship and be guided by the governor on what to do to improve the lives of the people. The resident humanitarian coordinator added that the purpose of UN is to support government for the benefit of the people of Nigeria to overcome dependency. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. It's now time to return to Naja'atu in Abuja for more reports for us this evening.
Thank you. We're talking education matters now. Governor Mai Mala Buni has launched the Maiden Yobe Education Day with the distribution of textbooks and modern laboratory equipment worth millions of naira to improve teaching and learning in schools across the state. The governor also unveiled an enhanced school feeding program aimed at promoting productivity among students. Correspondent Bashir Nababa reports.
Launching the education support initiatives, Governor Mema Labuni says his administration is bringing education to the front burner in order to make quality education affordable and accessible to the children of the poor. He recalled with satisfaction commendation given to Yobe State by the British government through its ambassador to Nigeria for the successes recorded in repositioning the education sector over the years.
The impressive performance of our students in national examinations is a positive indication to our collective efforts to equip the future generations with the required prerequisites for self-actualization, good citizenship, and a prosperous future for the state.
The education sector in Yobe State is one area that suffered the most during the years of Boko Haram insurgency, with schools being targets for destruction by the insurgents. This scenario has, however, changed by the combined efforts of governments, non-governmental organizations, and international donor agencies, with the sector witnessing increased stability and enrollment. From Damaturu, Bashir Nababa, NTA News.
And that was Bashir Nababa. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, has called on Saudi authorities to reconsider the travel ban placed on Nigeria due to concerns over the Omicron corona variant. This was at a meeting with the Saudi Arabian ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Faisal bin Ibrahim Al-Ghamdi. The minister said other countries which took the same decision have reversed their stance, having studied the achievements of Nigeria so far in the fight against the Omicron variant and the coronavirus pandemic in general. The Saudi Arabian ambassador to Nigeria, Faisal bin Ibrahim Al-Ghamdi, while responding to Nigeria's request for the lifting of the travel ban, expressed satisfaction with the effort Nigeria is making to contain the virus. The soaring demand for shea nut and many of its derivatives has brought to the fore the necessity for Nigeria, as the world's top producer of the essential commodity, to capitalize on its unrivaled production capacity and enhance the country's sustainable economic growth. Fatima Aliu reports.
Global markets indicate that shea nut production and processing is beyond subsistence. Nigeria, as the leading exporter of this valuable commodity, has already motioned appropriate framework to boost its production across the country for both industrial and export purposes. This capacity training program therefore seeks to walk the talk as relevant agencies and parastatals in the agro-commodities and export sector, who are duty-bound to lead the charge through sensitization and enforcement of these policies, took turns to intimate the gathering on the gains of the initiative.
We are here to promote fumigation, that is a pest control on the aspect, so that we can be able to get good produce of shea nut.
We are able to partner with the World Trade Organization, bringing some of the facility through the STDF project.
They are free to come to the agency to register their product because NAFDAC is encouraging micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises.
We want the government to support them by giving them even a village, to give them a small machine so that they can use and get this shea butter product done.
Jomai Abubakar, like many others who have been in the business of shea butter production for more than a decade, maintained that the innovative idea will achieve greater success if the women folks were supported with soft loans, which has proven difficult to ourselves. In Mina, Fatima Aliu, NTA News.
The federal government is intensifying efforts at ensuring Nigerians harness the digital culture by increasing information and communication technology among teachers and students. The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, stated this while inaugurating a Digital Nigeria Center at Ijesha Muslim Grammar School, Ilesha, Osun State.
era in ICT for students of Ijesha Muslim Grammar School, Ilesha, Osun State, as the Digital Nigeria Center is inaugurated by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari. The center is designed to connect public secondary schools
President Muhammadu Buhari Technology Empowerment Fund to create world-class tech entrepreneurs across Ijesha land. We are targeting 2,000 youths over a period of 2 years to be trained here.
The center has, among other facilities, 40 desktop computers embedded with operating system, server, printer, remote-controlled projector, high-resolution scanner, and e-learning.
We will continue to monitor and evaluate the impact of this project, and we hope that in the near future, your school will become a model to showcase the benefits of ICT in education.
Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, represented by Chairman, Board of Commissioners, NCC, Professor Adeolu Akande, reiterated federal government's commitment to its tripartite agenda of improving the economy, curbing corruption, and enhancing national security through effective deployment of ICT.
In addition to digital literacy and skills, we are also focusing on building the capacity of Nigerians in emerging technologies.
The Digital Nigeria Center is a project facilitated through the Universal Service Provision Fund of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. From Ilesha, Femi Afariogun, NTA.
The federal government has trained and empowered 10,000 women and youths in ICT and modern agricultural practices across the federation. Addressing 80 beneficiaries of a 5-day training on ICT and modern agricultural practices for female farmers in the South-South, the Director General, National Center for Women Development, Dr. Asade Bashir, said government's goal of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years is on course. Clement Barikui reports.
Before now, farmers depend largely on support services from agricultural extension workers to improve their farming activities. But today, the story has changed. From the small-scale to medium-scale farmers, it is possible to research into latest innovations in the agricultural sector. With the theme Engendering Agricultural Innovation through ICT, these 5 days of training exposed the women to various ways of information and communication technology that can help them improve on their agricultural practices and methods.
Before now, I've been conversant with ICT, but not with agriculture. We were taught on how to use Excel, a spreadsheet.
We will continue to monitor your progress and support your growth all year round. We have moved the agriculture sector now from the analog setting to the digital setting.
The 80 participants from various farmers' associations across the South-South were trained and empowered with laptops, while 40 widows received stipends to support their businesses. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
Road construction in rural areas plays a significant role in transforming the socio-economic life of the people and serves as a way of bringing development to the area. Paul Abel reports.
Of the major determinants in the growth of any developing society is in infrastructure, and extending such to rural areas make it more attractive since people here lack modern facilities usually found in city centers. Therefore, the people of Ogwaga, Uchibi, Mfom, Okuku, and other communities along the mini superhighway are expressing excitement over the state of construction of the 148 kilometers road being constructed by the Governor Ben Ayade administration.
This road was a bad road before, but since government have entered,
We have a good road now.
There's no more death or any danger accident. We are here. We are enjoying the road.
During the rainy season, we can't cross to the market and buy things. But now, I believe that everything is going well.
This is a major road to southeastern states, so the value is very much for us.
The Commissioner for Works comments on the road.
It's a dual carriageway of 148 kilometers. That road project has been ongoing. About 70% completion is recorded. You can see the road dualized. What is left will be completed in the year 2022 by God's grace. And budgetary provision has been made for that purpose.
Other roads still under construction in the state are expected to be completed this year, 2022, before the exit of this administration. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
17th of January every year is recognized as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This is in remembrance of his work on equality and racial segregation. As a way of marking the day, which comes up next week, the International Visitors Leadership Program is enlightening youth on being more proactive in terms of leadership and representation ahead of the 2023 elections. Charles Alpha reports.
Freedom, justice and equality were Martin Luther King's major driving force for the liberation of the black people. Celebrated 17th of January every year, the day reflects on the legacy of a man whose dream has continued to inspire nations and people of all backgrounds. That shared dream inspired the International Visitors Leadership Program and the U.S. Nigeria Educational and Cultural Leadership Program Alumni Association to reach out to more people, especially the youth in Damagaza community in the FCT, on the need to quit the blame game, get more involved, and take responsibility ahead of the 2023 elections.
We must find ways to see that it's our responsibility to monitor governance.
So we came here to talk to the youth, tell them you can make change, effect change peacefully. The idea here is to galvanize action for them to know that as youths, they are also major stakeholders in this country.
With the theme, Leadership is Personal, it starts with me. The groups enlighten youth in the community to assess their expectations and obligations as citizens with the aim of making meaningful impact as an individual or community.
You say in Damagaza here and say Buhari is not doing well. I say, what about you in your house? Are you doing well?
The Youth and Leadership Enlightenment Program is part of activities to mark the Martin Luther King Day, which comes up next week. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update.